like you're getting around better.
My hips $79. Second.
I don't know. You end up on prison, or I arrested him. Yeah. Well, his mom. Not very good for sure.
I have to leave early. I'm staying close to the door.
The F-150 with the water pump, is that, that's not the one with the transmission issue, is it?
Call the meeting to order. Heather, would you do a roll call, please?
Vanessa Arthur, first ward.
Here?
Lucas Stansberry, second ward.
Present.
Dennis Everett, third ward.
Present.
Daryl Westhoff, fourth ward.
Here.
We have a quorum, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. At this time, we'll do the invocation. Lord, be with us as we go through our meeting tonight, that we do everything that is proper and everything that is good for the people in the city of Girard. I ask this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Could I have a motion for acceptance of the agenda?
Mr. Mayor, I motion that we accept the agenda as presented, omitting letter W in the consent agenda.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, I motion we approve the consent agenda as presented, minus omitting W.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, at this time, we have public forum. Got Courtney Anthony,
That's me.
okay?
Where do I stand? Do I talk now or?
Yes, you can talk now,
Or you go to the podium.
Oh,
podium. And there's a 5-minute limit on it, so
Okay,
anything further.
so first of all, I want to say thank you for allowing me to speak here tonight. This is my first time attending one. I've tried to watch them online, but the audio is really, really bad. First things first is the public safety funds. I know I had posted a Facebook post, and that was the only time that we have actually seen transparency with the city administrator actually commenting back on things. I seen that 150K goes to the police department. Is this being used for raises? Are they allowed to use that for raises, or how are raises
What's that?
put into what is what?
What is, you mean the public safety fund?
Yeah, what is that like? What is that used for?
That'd just be for the public safety fund is actually for the fire department, police department.
Okay. So how do they get their raises and such? I seen on Officer McDonald's resignation that he was capped out on his salary. How is that?
What they do on certain, we've got job positions and stuff, and we've got on there that what the low end is, the top end.
Mhm.
When they top out, there's no
Okay.
raises. They have to move up to another position.
And then the next thing is, why was the police department allowed to get to this point where we only had 2 active police officers. I believe there's 2 during the day, the chief, and then another officer. Why was it allowed to get to that point? Why didn't we tackle the issues before it got to that point?
You know, it's hard to tackle issues when you don't know what's going on and what people are planning on doing.
Mhm.
You know, we know when, unless somebody comes to us and tells us they're resigning, like some do, sometimes we don't know it just before our meetings.
So you don't actively speak to your officers about how things are going?
Well, we do, but
Okay.
we don't speak to them on a daily basis. At least I don't.
So what do you believe are the reasons for the turnover?
I can't tell you. You'd have to go by what they put in their resignation. I can't comment on that.
Okay. And then also in the resignation, I seen that it was brought up about micromanaging. Why are we micromanaging a law enforcement?
Well, I can't say that there's really a lot of what you're calling micromanaging going on. There may have been some decisions that were made on issues that maybe weren't favorable to somebody, but as far as I'm concerned, the department heads take care of their department. And unless there's issues, I don't address it.
Okay.
If
So you
there's
said-
anybody else that does, that's not up to me.
So you said the department head takes care of their issues. Who takes care of the department head and their issues?
The city administrator.
The next thing is the timeline on the roads. So what is the actual timeline on having roads repaired?
The road repair and stuff is kind of contingent on our water project. We don't want to do the roads, then tear them up and have to redo them again. And we haven't got KDHE approval on the complete project yet to get started.
Okay. And then there was also a comment about the sidewalk from Forest to the square. Can we complete the sidewalk, or is that also on standstill because of water lines?
We're at on Forest. You're talking about from,
This is a response I gave. I know what she's talking about. Forest from the school to the square.
Yeah.
Is funded through KDOT Transportation Alternatives, and last time I talked to them, they're wanting to bid it out hopefully for next summer.
Okay.
It will depend on design engineering and when that gets complete and approved.
Okay. And then also there's a lot of questions about the golf course. Does the city of Girard fund this?
yes, it is funded,
Okay.
belongs to the city.
So that plot of land belongs to the city and it's
Yes,
not
it
county.
does.
Okay. Do the citizens get taxed for that? Do we pay for that?
Indirectly,
Yes.
it makes money on its own, but the other funding that goes towards the golf course comes from the electric department. So it doesn't come from property tax.
Is there a way that we can send out a survey to see which citizens actually utilize the golf course? Because I'll tell you, I've never even stepped foot on that property.
I mean, if council wanted to do that.
We,
We
ha-
probably could
we,
if we did, but, I don't know what,
we have a small list because we have members that purchase
yes.
and they purchase for a whole year.
Mhm.
And then they also have carts out there that they park into the facility. So we have a short list of that. But because that's an item that we have available to all the public, not just the citizens of Girard, that list really is null and void because anybody can travel here and use that facility.
Okay. And then another thing is a noise ordinance. Can we instill a noise ordinance from like 10 p.m. to like 5 a.m.? Because I know personally I work overnight, so I sleep during the day. So it is really hard to get a lot of sleep during the day when it's just super loud. And I know during the day is different, but like at night, people have to get up and go to work and people are blaring their music. There's dogs barking. I know where I live, I hear a dog bark all night long. Can we instill a noise ordinance?
I think Sierra was planning on a response to
We
that.
do have a noise ordinance regarding animals,
Mhm.
so there is one in place for dogs. So if you have a neighbor's dog that is continuously barking and that's an issue, document it and you can report that as an ordinance violation. You can fill out a municipal complaint form and we can follow up on that. As far as like your neighbor being loud, we don't have an ordinance that covers that. My best recommendation is to do exactly what you're doing, multiple people asking, this is an issue, we need this addressed, request for documentation of past reports, and then present it to council saying this is a problem and we'd like to have an ordinance, and then somebody would need to, probably the police chief would need to get a copy of a neighboring city's ordinance and present it, they approve it, if they choose that that's something they want to go with.
And then another thing was the crosswalks on the square. I know that there was a comment about like responded back on how it's faded and something about warranty. Can you explain like what that warranty is? Like when are we getting that fixed? Like,
That would be, the change, that was something that was done through, Main Street, Gerard.
okay.
You can talk to people with Main Street, Gerard. I'm not aware of, any warranty. I know there was some touch up that was done at one time, but you could probably talk to them. You could probably talk to, Jessica Ripper over there at American Family. She could tell you.
Okay. Because it is faded and it's about to be nice, like really nice outside, and no one can see the crosswalk. I mean, it was nice when it was done, but no one can really see it now. And then the lack of transparency was the last thing that I was going to close with. Is it seemed like there wasn't any response to anything until I had emailed you and until I had posted something on Facebook. A lot of Facebook posts, comments are turned off, questions aren't answered. Why was there a lack of transparency?
I'm not saying a lack of transparency, but myself, I don't respond to Facebook. I think I send you an email back. I like a person-to-person talk. I like to talk face-to-face to
Mhm.
people instead of over Facebook. I don't do that much, so.
No, I understand. I was just curious on why it took me emailing and posting that on the Neighbors of Gerard for the city administrator to finally like answer some
I'm
questions.
blocked from Neighbors of Gerard. I used to always answer questions on there. It was residents. And the reason I don't answer questions is because, I mean, it just gets terrible.
It takes a lot of time. I know people don't see that, but she's here at work and there's actual documentation and things that she has to send up the chain. So for her to be sitting there waiting for people to comment back and forth, it really takes a long time to jump on there every time someone has another question. And I mean, we don't have just a media representative that can just sit there and do that. So I know that she did it this time and I know that it helped out a lot. I even went through and read it, but it's almost something that we would have to pay another person to
Mhm.
sit there and respond to all the articles and all the things that come up, because you ask a question and then the next one and then the next one, and then somebody comments. And so just to keep that all clear, she'd have to be sitting there for hours in
Mhm.
a day and responding to everything. So I don't think that's, I mean, fiscally in our budget.
I don't think it's so
anytime
much
soon.
of having her sitting there responding to the comments. What I think is there was a lack of transparency. You guys have a Facebook page. We weren't aware as citizens. Like, I know I wasn't aware that we didn't have a full police department. I had no idea. Why wasn't there some kind of announcement or something like that? So
We have these meetings, and all of these meetings you're free to come to, but in those meetings, it has every hire, every fire, anytime something happens with staff or any employee through us, that is announced at these meetings, and you are free, and this is Open Meetings Act, so you are free to come and do that. But aside from that, I mean, if we just post on Facebook, so-and-so got hired and so-and-so got fired,
I don't
lead to a lot of comments.
we're not wanting to know who got hired and fired. We're wanting to know, like, okay, hey, just FYI, the Crawford County Sheriff's Office is going to be overseeing Gerard due to this, just changes. Like, let us know what's changing, what you guys are changing. Just, I mean, even if you keep the comments off, that's fine. But just like posting on there and letting us know what's changing, because not a lot of people can tune in at 5 o'clock or listen to a broken audio.
At the same time, if we always announce that, hey, we're short-staffed on police, sometimes that doesn't look good, and then that brings unwanted people to our community because they know it's not policed
Well,
as at full staff. So sometimes by not broadcasting those things, we're kind of protecting our citizens and protecting our community by not having those entities come in because they're not fully informed.
understood. We did have the news department come in, so that was already broadcasted. So,
It was.
and then last thing, and then I will stop taking up your time. Can we possibly change the meetings to 6 to make it more realistic for people?
Change what?
The meetings to 6 p.m. Would that be something that we could do?
That's a discussion we can have. I can't guarantee that'll happen. But
Okay.
as far as the Facebook post and anything like that, I put an article in Gerard Hometown Paper here a while back about some of the accomplishments, the grants that the city has received since 2018 up to present. I put my phone number in there. If anybody had any questions, I would be more than happy to answer them.
Mhm.
I have received 0 calls.
Okay.
And, you know, I don't know, just like I said, I don't respond to Facebook. I'm not that, you know, I'm not really that familiar with it as far as doing it all the time. So I would like to talk person to person. Sometimes there's things said over the phone or on Facebook that wouldn't be said in person.
Mhm.
And that way you can get a true effect of how people feel and what they, you know, what's going on. And
Okay.
that's the way I feel about it. That number's in there. It's 238 8705.
Well, that's all I have on my list. So again, thank you for your time.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, nobody else for public forum. We'll go on to regular business. Isabel Gabehart to discuss potential Eagle Scout project.
Hello, my name is Isabel Gapehart, and I'm a Life Scout in our local Females Scouting America Troop 84. And I am going to discuss my potential Eagle Scout project. I am wanting to install completely disability-friendly musical playground equipment at our local park. Currently at the park, we do not have anything that any child or adult that needs a mobility aid can use. And also, musical playground equipment is very beneficial to children's development and creative skills. It's going to be a very expensive project. My base count is $46,000, but I've already identified several grants that I'm hoping to apply for with your permission and the permission of the higher ups in scouting. Do you have any questions?
What is the type of equipment you're hoping to get?
Percussion equipment mostly, so chimes, mallet percussion instruments, or drums, those types of things.
Okay. Because it's a public place, how are you going to prevent that from being damaged or prevent that from lack of care?
There are multiple companies that create playground equipment that are those percussion style instruments that I'm looking at. And I've already identified one that I am hoping to order through.
Myself and Isabel and her mother and Casey Brown with CCAP met a couple Fridays ago, I think it was. And our Casey and I agreed to help Isabel with whatever she needs as far as grant funding. There was one Casey knew about that I hadn't ever even heard of. And then Pritchett is out, which we have received Pritchett before, but haven't in a long time. But they do fund a lot of recreation projects. So she's got a good plan.
You know where you want to put it in the park?
Yes, I'm wanting to put it in between the sidewalk and the main playground area.
So that would be on the east side of the little ditch? East that way.
East of the large playground equipment, in between the small child playground and the larger.
Oh, okay, so on the other side.
In between the two.
Right.
Yeah, on the north side of the park.
Okay. And I've seen this equipment before in different playgrounds, and it's really quite interesting because you can actually almost play a song on it.
Mhm.
With I believe it was chimes, went from small to large. The one I saw anyway. Then there was also a percussion area.
Yes.
So it is a good thing.
What motivated you to choose that as your project?
Music is a very large part of my life. I'm in band and choir, so I wanted to do something musical. And then also making things that are available for everyone is a very important thing to me, because there are so many things where if you have any sort of problem that isn't something that everyone else faces, you can't do stuff, and every kid should be allowed to play.
I think it's a great project, Liz.
Thank you.
Appreciate you bringing it to us.
I think we might need a motion just to give Isabel and Casey and Megan authority to write a grant with my review, but on behalf of the city.
Okay.
And I'm sure before it gets submitted, we can let you guys see it again.
Mr. Mayor, a motion that we allow Isabella Gabehart to pursue her Eagle Scout project and get help with grants in the city of Gerard's name.
I second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, Isabella.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Isabel.
Item B, executive session for non-elected personnel to discuss employee discipline, hiring, and resignation.
Mr. Mayor, a motion we go into executive session for non-elected personnel to discuss employee discipline, hiring, and resignation. Recommend a 20-minute session to include the mayor, council, city attorney, city administrator, and public works director.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Actually,
Last thing or something, down all day. Take off running.
We have to watch our step.
We ready?
Sure.
Bring meeting back to order.
Mr. Mayor, I motion we go into executive session for non-elected personnel to discuss employee discipline, hiring and resigning. Recommend 15-minute session to include mayor, council, city attorney, city administrator, and Jesse Snyder on call.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
We'll come up and get you in just a little bit, Jesse.
Call them first thing in the morning. Well, I won't call them first thing in the morning. I think it's
Together too.
I do want to.
Crawford County run vacuum cameras, so they would technically sync with Frontline, so everyone else is. Yeah, they turn the lights on. So, I should have said that.
Are we ready, Heather? Call the meeting back to order.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion that we hire Jesse Snyder as police chief of the city of Girard at the rate of $26.54 an hour to begin May 12th.
I'll second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Moving on to item C, consider surplus equipment ordinance.
You guys had requested some changes to this ordinance. I don't know if you had time to review it. Oh my gosh, I uploaded,
Did I miss it?
yeah, I uploaded the actual ordinance instead of the revised ordinance.
But it says may solicit sealed bids as opposed to have to. And it gives you the opportunity to have discretion.
Where do you see it at?
Is it not
Steve?
this one? B right here
It's on,
with the
Yeah,
changes highlighted?
it's on
Hold
regular under B surplus.
Hold on, I might be in the wrong spot.
And I think it's got the changes on there. Yeah, it's got the third changes on there.
Oh, okay, I found it. Yep, I was in the wrong folder. I did add on the prohibition on city employees unless it's sold by a third-party auction service. Because in that case, they wouldn't have any, or everybody would have the same knowledge.
Would that include the internet as a third party? So like Jackie wants to put things on Purple Wave, so then it
Yes,
became
that would be
Purple
a
Wave.
third-party auction
And
service.
so then city employees could purchase it through there, just to clarify.
Yeah, it's an arm's length transaction.
Yeah. Because when we're taking the sealed bids ourselves, I think there's more of a conflict there. If people think somebody could look at it.
Right, well,
But
because
at
some people
Purple
try
Wave,
to
it's-
email it in and
Yeah.
different things to that nature.
What's the ordinance number on that?
Heather, actually, Karen usually. It's resolutions. That's resolutions. Karen, is she here? No, she's not here. Thought she was coming. Oh, right here.
So
1391. Unless there's something else you guys want me to
Dash
change.
25?
No.
Just 1391.
Mhm.
No, I think this will.
Yes, thank you, Karen.
Mr. Mayor, a motion that we adopt ordinance 1391 for surplus equipment
I second them
Changes. Right?
as presented.
Yeah. That's fine.
with these changes. I mean, that's the
Yeah.
changes we requested, so
It is, yep.
it's good. I second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Item D, fireworks.
The state has changed their statute regarding fireworks. I believe it's just all year round now. I was gonna discuss it with fire chief and I forgot. But I mostly wanted to ask if you guys wanted us to look at that ordinance to revise it. For example, some cities, I think I saw today that Parsons was considering it tonight, adding 5 days to I think we're 27th to 4th.
It's a state statute that they just, the state fire marshal will have it printed over on.
Okay.
What's your opinion? What's your opinion on it?
But extending it out,
I mean, it depends on, when the 4th is, sometimes, my thing is also just the drought, just depends on the season, what we're in and stuff. But I mean, I've seen other districts and communities extended out as well, and they haven't had any issues. I've talked to some of the neighboring agencies as well.
I did catch Terry and talk to him about it a little bit, and he suggested, and some of the things that he saw was that some cities were like doing that, but they were also allowing for special permits, and they had to pay, which I think the permits and inspection fees now go to the fire department. So if we did that, I think the chief could manage it and issue permits. Like if somebody had a big 80th
Party or
birthday
something.
party or 50th anniversary or something,
Okay.
they could get a permit for however much on a Saturday night. Like maybe not allow it during the week, or I don't know.
So
You
is,
guys want, I mean,
is this a discharge and sell? I mean,
yeah, the state says you can do either now all year long.
So Jake's will be open essentially all year long. You can purchase from Jake's all year.
where are we expecting like Jake to like bring a trailer sometimes and setting up, or
Yes, but
is
we
that-
would still, and that would be like in my
The
mind, that
4th
would
of
be
July.
like the week or week and a half we do over the 4th of July.
Mhm.
But they would still have to get inspected by the fire department and pay their fee.
I think we need to look into it and
Okay, so
see.
maybe,
I think having special events and allowing fireworks is a great thing,
okay,
but I think we need to read into it and make sure it's something that our fire department's prepared to do.
Yeah. Do you want to do it?
okay.
So I actually got the new ordinance from the state. It's printed on my bulletin about the new upcoming changes. We're going to sit down and talk about.
Yeah,
Okay,
let's-
perfect. So if you guys want to look at it, tell me what you would prefer to have. I can draft an ordinance and then we can,
So the idea is you want to
Yes.
expand the 4th of July by 5 days
I
and
don't
then
even
permit
remember if it
any
was
other
5
special
days.
occasions?
Should we? I think the question is should.
Should we?
Should we?
Because we did expand ours. Did we expand it 2 years ago?
yeah, ours was really short though,
It
wasn't it?
was the
like
1st through the
4
5th at
Yeah, it
one
was
time.
like 4 days.
What is it now?
I want to say it's the 27th through 5th, but I think I might be thinking of Parsons because I read that right before we came into the meeting. So I will have to
That
look
sounds
again.
right.
But it is longer, but yeah, when it was only 4 days, like Chief said, it would sometimes, if the 4th fell on a weird day that people aren't going to keep their kids up late, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or they have to work the next day,
Well,
then,
this year it's on a Friday, so
so this year it won't even be an
look
issue.
out.
so this year so this time the ordinance allows us just to do the specified time,
Yes.
but they can shoot anytime.
But we were
But not-
restricted by state statute on
Yeah.
what days as a municipality, and we expanded it to be as long as the state allowed. Well, now the state's decided whenever.
What's that mean? So
Right
we
now
have,
it's between, I'm looking at our ordinance.
When does that start?
It's done.
27th through July 2nd, through July 5th. June 27th.
It was
through
different
July 5th.
times, yeah.
Right.
There's different times, but that's basically it.
So I think the 3rd to the 5th, you could shoot them off later at
Later at night
night,
you
and
can.
then before that, you had to be
Earlier, she
done.
had to cut it off at 10 o'clock. So it's 27th through 5th, and then the shutdown time is either 10
or
p.m. or 12 a.m., depending on the 3rd or 4th of the other days.
So yeah, I think we should review that and then maybe do that. Okay, thank you.
Okay, that's it on that one.
Moving on to E, consider purchase of golf course utilizing reserve funds.
I believe the golf committee or staff wanted to buy that Jacobson 3400 fairway row mower, and the last thing on the list, which was the 11 blade reels, which would be 21.5. It's above my spend. Oh, I guess the reels are in my spend authority, but you guys would have to approve the reel mower, and Daryl can probably explain why they need that better than I can.
The other two are completely worn out and one's non-functioning, so they're using a regular mower to mow the fairways when they get the opportunity.
And they do
It's,
have the reserve funds to do it.
Yeah, and the funds there's ample funds in there for equipment. What is it?
So
I
what
can't
happened
see.
to the
Hang on a
mower that
second.
we fixed the blades and everything on last year?
That was a greens mower.
Uh-huh.
This is a fairway.
Fairway
This
mower.
fairway
There's
mower.
all kinds of different mowers
Okay.
for the golf course.
And the ones that
And-
we have are irreparable.
They're working on one. They're trying to find parts. The other thing is the John Deere equipment that we have is so old that the parts to repair them are obsolete. We have to find someplace that's a junkyard to get the parts that they may need, and it's near impossible. But we do have the parts coming in for the one that's broke down, but it's going to be several weeks before it's here. And then who knows when the next thing it breaks, because that thing is ancient, is the best word to use. So it's something that's actually needed.
What's in the reserve funds, Joanna?
I think there's around 40.
Are these
in there.
new?
50.
Mowers?
Are these mowers listed here new?
No, they're used.
Okay.
So I'm gonna be the advocate, but we've bought used before. I'm not saying that I want to buy new, but we bought used before and we've got kind of upside down on it. So who's looked at them? What guarantee do we have?
I think they've got a year warranty on them. I have to double check, but as I remember, there's a warranty on the 1,400-hour one. And the thing is, at the price that they're at, you know, you can use them for, say, 5 years, sell them, get something a little newer, and just keep rolling it. But
Is this through a dealership, Daryl?
yes, it's in Shawnee.
Are parts readily available too, Daryl?
Yes, on these there are. So I've been told. They're plentiful on the Jacobson.
How many hours on our current equipment? If you had to guess, many more than.
Well, it was well over 2,500 3 years ago, so I don't know what's on it now.
Yeah.
So, well, there's none on it now because it won't run. It's broke down.
So, I mean, how did you guys find this? Because I know when we did the police vehicles, we asked for several different dealerships, several different places. So how did you guys?
There's only so many places that
find
are
these?
anywhere near that sell golf equipment. One's in Iola, Kansas City.
Uh-huh.
These are the best prices that they came up with. The others were in the 20,000 range with more hours, but they had green paint instead of orange paint. You know how that goes.
Yep.
To go new, you can over probably 2.5 times those prices that are on there. So the most cost-effective way, if we get 6 years out of these, that'd be great.
So you want to purchase all of these?
No.
No.
Just one of these.
Yes.
And these are totally refurbished by the
Yes.
dealer.
In Shawnee, yes.
Okay.
So
I think they want the $16,500 one.
So what are we going to do with our old equipment?
we can either junk it out or we can surplus it through
Purple
an
Wave.
auction or a bid process. However we want to handle that.
And I've said this before in a meeting, I know that the golf course has reserve funds, but at the same time, it never has reserve funds because it always gets money transferred to it. So that's a hard thing for me to spend that money, but
It can't be spent on anything else once it's in the reserve fund.
well, we can technically put it back to where it came from, which is the electric department. It just takes a while and it's hard to do. But I know we need this, but I question how long these are actually going to be good and when the next time is that we're going to be buying another piece of equipment. So if we buy one of these and have one, are we going to call that good, or we're going to have the other one fixed? And
The
how
other
much?
one's being fixed. We're waiting on the parts. They
And how
found the
much is
parts
it
for it.
costing us to fix it?
I don't have any idea. I would guess
They're probably fixing it themselves.
$500.
Yeah.
The parts couldn't be more than $500-600. I wouldn't think. I don't know. Judd Bailey's putting it back together, so
He's just doing it on his hourly rate,
Yeah.
hourly wage.
when he's not fixing a leak or fixing something else.
And that's another problem with those reserve funds is that they need to fix leaks and fix everything else. But yeah, I get it. If we don't have the piece of equipment, then we can't keep the facility nice, and I understand that. Does anybody have any more questions on that?
Well,
Mr.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion that we purchase the Jacobson 3400 fairway reel mower with 1,400 hours for $16,500 through the reserve funds for reserve equipment fund.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item F, consider mission construction quote for box culvert and road replacement quote. Be up on North Ozark.
Do you want to talk about the mission construction quote?
Yeah, it's a box culvert over on Ozark. The top is, well, I think, I don't know if you attached those pictures we had, but they're, it's eroded back into the road. And for us to, Mission's in town, so we got a pretty good bid, a very good bid to replace it. They're gonna use beams and then put a concrete overlay on it, but they're gonna keep the bottoms and sides of the box, which is gonna save us considerable. The other way to do it is have the engineers come in and for $20,000, tell us that's what we need to do. So, this is a maintenance of this culvert. I'm concerned with the condition of the weight, especially when we start this other project and people who are not supposed to detour around do detour across that it's in pretty bad shape. So this is they're gonna take the top off, put steel beams, and then pour a new top on.
This is just right out here where that big, well, I guess it's just the
I'm
culvert. but where
sending you
the-
guys the
Oh,
picture.
okay.
Right
I'm
out
just
here.
looking, I'm just looking it
If you
up.
look at it, it's eroded past the guardrails into the street.
I've
about a
walked
foot.
over there and I've seen that, yes.
And what probably some of you don't realize, that was brought to our attention when they did the drainage project on Highway 47, and then they ran the drainage down there. They said at that time it needed to be redone. And that's been how many years? 4 or 5 years
Or longer.
or longer. And it's not going to get any better.
And just for transparency, we're doing this through Mission because they're already in town and they're giving us a better rate because they're already in town
picture?
working on other projects for us, the sidewalk
You're
project.
saving on mobilization costs, which
Right.
is considerable expense on any.
Oh, I
Right.
visited, didn't I? I went to it.
And they've done, it looks like good work to me, who's not a concrete
Yeah.
person, but
They're doing
Jackie.
exceptional work.
Hmm.
They're really
Right.
good on concrete.
Because I didn't, I
Right.
can't tell from the road if you just drive over it. So I thought this must be it, and I got out and looked.
guys have any more questions for Jackie or about the project?
No, I visited the site and I'm convinced. I couldn't quite tell until I got out of my car and went around and looked through that box with steel hanging and
And
yeah,
it's bellied a little bit, so.
Yeah.
it's-
looks better on top than it is.
Hey, what do they mean by concrete to be finished by, say, Gerard? Is that just like the curing or the?
We thought the concrete not included.
No,
Pardon?
concrete's on there by the cubic yard.
But underneath this is concrete to be finished
Yeah.
or furnished, sorry.
It
Furnished
says
by, say, Gerard.
we have to pay for the concrete to be furnished by the city of Gerard.
Yeah.
Remember,
We'll
we
have to
talked
pay for
about
the
it.
concrete, but
So
they'll
it's
do all
this
that.
price plus the
Plus
concrete.
concrete.
Yeah, that's probably 1,000 in concrete.
Yeah, it's not much.
900 is what it has.
But they're doing, they're paying for the iron beams.
They're obtaining that and we're obtaining the
They're
concrete.
taking the top off.
They're gonna hang the steel and do the flat work basically.
Okay. So as long as you're comfortable, Jackie, I
Yeah,
think
and they're
there's,
also gonna support the guardrails with a beam, which that guardrail's about ready to fall off. So I'm pretty comfortable with it.
you'll get out there and paint that, right, after they do it all?
Oh, absolutely.
Put a new sign on it.
Yeah. All right, so, Mr. Mayor, I motion that we approve the Mission Concrete quote for the box culvert and road replacement quote of $21,423.60.
One second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Item G, Resolution 2025-09, 601 East Forest Avenue. That would be a dilapidated structure.
No one, I mean, anybody have any information as to why the dilapidated structure?
This house here has a tree on it, a hole in the roof, and it was, letters were sent out you know, as far as the condition and stuff to the owners, and either no reply or whatever.
We don't have anything on these. Okay.
I think usually Terry has pictures and a write-up. Did Terry have anything, Joanna?
I have a question.
He
real
gave
quick.
all of this to Karen.
Sure.
I think she's in her office.
6114s, I believe, is that the scales?
Yes, yes.
We will utilize that working with the state task force, because we're actually bringing in a training evolution through the state and utilizing a dilapidated structure. I had contacted her, reached out to her if we would be able to utilize that, working with Terry and us getting an agreement, signing off on liability. So when the task force and state fire marshals come down to office to put on an evolution, we were going to utilize this structure for this training evolution.
That's the one you chose was for us.
Yeah, that's the one.
It
we
being
chose.
condemned shouldn't affect that, should
Are
it?
you in touch with the owner or who are you talking to?
Well, I got in touch with the owner. I have her information contact, and I ended up not utilizing it. But then I got with Terry about us having to figure out what we have to do, sign an agreement, you know.
If she'll sign it over to us, that's easy.
And then, you know, we're gonna utilize it for a training evolution, probably either June or
I
July.
can do it either way.
I mean, she might not want to give up the property, even though she's giving up the structure.
Because we're gonna, when the task force comes in, they're gonna go through and they'll tear the car out.
So would that be something we'd like to hold off the
I don't know,
condemnation?
because I don't know if the condemnation would affect that, would it?
It might make it
I really
harder.
don't know.
Gives us the right to tear it down. They have a certain, they have what, 30 days and they have to tear it down. If not, we go in and do it and assess it against the property.
So it
That's
wouldn't,
how it
it
works.
wouldn't prevent the owner from giving the fire department permission to go do,
Yeah, you can still,
I mean,
if we condemn it, you can still go ahead. As long as Terry works with,
yeah,
yeah, so we don't tear it down before you get to your work. done.
yes.
Because that's one of the structures they come down, some of the instructors come down, we went through and they utilizing this. They said that'd be a good idea. With the evolution they plan on doing.
But us condemning it's not going to hurt the process of them doing
I
that.
mean, that doesn't sound like it. If you guys are okay with it, us condemning it is officially putting the city stamp on that we need it down. Are you gonna take it
It's-
down?
No, we won't take it
Oh,
down.
you'll
It'll be be tore up pretty good. I mean, for somebody.
But hopefully they can
plan
do
on
all
doing.
that before we even bid out.
That's what I'm saying.
Yep.
If it's tore down before we can do the evolution, that's why I wanted to speak in behalf of that
Yeah.
property.
But doesn't us condemning it take the liability away from the owner then?
No,
So then the
not-
city has
not until
that?
the time frame passes, then we assume it.
So
the
after
timeframe
the
of
30
statute,
days?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
So
you would
then
still have to.
That
get
gives
rid
us
of
the
it.
liability, which takes it off of her. So then you using it as a city entity, it would be under city liability. So it should clarify some documentation for you, I think.
I mean,
For us, I mean, because the fire marshal's office and the task force will come down with their people from Pittsburgh. They're part of, under the Department of Homeland Security, utilizing this area for training.
As long as we have it and it's in, the city has it, then I think we're okay. We'll just communicate, basically. Yeah.
Mr. Mayor, a motion that we approve resolution 2025-09 of 601 East Forest Avenue for condemnation.
I second the motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Item H, resolution 2025-10, 411 South Cherokee.
There's a picture. Are you guys not seeing them?
I'm not finding anything.
That house down there is the one that was supposed to be tore down when
Oh, I was in the wrong thing.
Okay, I was gonna-
I'm so sorry.
Huh? Karen just-
I wasn't finding any of the letters, but I was looking for
Karen just
GH.
uploaded them.
Oh, okay. Perfect.
There they are.
We
That
love
house-
it.
She just popped in
that
and
house
said,
Wonderful.
down there has been
Yeah, I don't
vacant.
see any of it.
We tore one down next door to it,
We did, yep.
to the north, and it's to the south. It was supposed to have been torn down. It hasn't been torn down yet.
Regular.
So he sent out the notice on it.
Is this one that they said that they were gonna work on?
Well, they were gonna tear it down.
Oh,
Four
okay.
folders, one file.
Hasn't been done yet.
You got the surplus property golf course committee.
Oh, that's-
all
Okay.
that. That's where Butch Williams used to live.
Right next door to it.
Did you find it, Dennis?
Perfect. Mr. Mayor, I motion we approve resolution 2025-10 of 411 South Cherokee Street for condemnation.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item I, Resolution 2025-11, 700 North Summit. This is a house that burnt here a while back and stuff, and the progress isn't being appropriately taken to get it
I know
down.
they are cleaning up some, but it's.
They've done some, but then it's kind of a slow process. We need to get that one out of there. It's been an issue besides before the fire, it's been an issue, so.
So if they get it done before we do, then they don't pay the
Correct.
they won't pay for it to be torn down?
Yep.
Mr. Mayor, I motion we approve resolution 2025-11 at 700 North Summit Street to be condemned.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Item J, Resolution 2025. Motion carries. Resolution 2025-12, 304 West Buffalo. That's one that, I believe that's probably the two-story house.
No, it's the single, it's the
Okay, it's a
Powell house.
single house almost across the street from the other one, and it's vacant. I think it's got some of the windows boarded up, and
I think she passed away, didn't she? A while back, a couple years ago. Mr. Mayor, I motion that we approve resolution 2025-12, 304 West Buffalo Street to be condemned.
Second.
all those in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Item K, Resolution 2025-13, 309 West Buffalo.
That's your
That's the
two-story.
two-story house.
Across the street.
It's just
Oh, yeah, I've seen
got the
that.
carpet laying out on the parquet and the,
Yeah, were they not working on that residence? Because they
No.
put on that
That's
metal
been there
roof and they had
forever,
carpet
hasn't it?
out.
no, that one's not, there's nobody even living in it now. They've abandoned it. There's nobody, it's empty. Has been for quite some time.
I can't tell on the photo. Is it blue?
Blue.
Okay.
Yep.
I know which one. it is.
It's been overgrown for a while, but I really thought someone was working on it the way they put a roof on it. And he'll get his chance. I guess.
Mr. Mayor, I move that we adopt resolution 2025-13, 309 West Buffalo.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Item L, Resolution 2025-14, confirming financial authorization and no interconnection agreement is required for solar facility. And this will be a roll call vote.
Oh, do you guys want me to explain?
Yes.
You guys actually already passed this. And then I guess every municipality that uploaded that resolution got a letter back. I don't know where I put it. Saying that they wanted additional information about location and capacity. So it's basically the exact same thing with more information about location and capacity. Because the Department of Energy requested it to be that way.
So what's the no interconnection agreement? Why are we not?
It's just that it's going to be ours. Like we're going to.
But no,
We're going to own it rather than lease it from an
Yes.
outside entity.
but no
Like we're not having
interconnection?
to interconnect with anybody besides ourselves. That we
Like
own
put our
it.
power on the grid or anything like
Yeah.
Yeah,
that.
it'll be on our own distribution system.
So it's not going into the
Am I
grid. So we're
explaining
not
that
getting,
right, Cliff? Okay.
we're not going to get paid for it. It's not going to go on.
Well, we could still, if we had excess,
Mhm.
that it'll be ours. We own it. We're a public utility, and we're not having to interconnect with anybody else to be able to provide that power to our customers.
I got you.
Does it lock us in, Cliff, to that capacity? And so whatever we put in here, that's what we know for sure we want?
To get the
I know. What's
ITC,
it- what's
this
it
is
saying?
this is applying for the for the additional tax credit money.
Does it say 2 megawatt or what's? I don't see it.
Yeah, it's an extra 10%.
Like, where's the, can't find the agreement.
agreement
We
on
already approved the agreement. This is just, everything's already done except for this now.
But I thought they wanted the acreage and the capacity and everything. This one.
But that was still in the
Was it
original
already in the
agreement,
original?
yes.
Okay.
And no interconnection agreement
And
is
I can't
required?
find that either. What is
That's
going
what
on
she-
with my
yeah, that's what she's saying. We
Dropbox?
don't have to be connected to any other city, any other,
And,
Utility.
and we don't need some sort of agreement to verify that or to solidify that?
What
We don't-
it would be an agreement with ourselves.
Oh, okay.
like,
Yeah.
we're building it for our citizens. So it's not like we're sharing it with.
Okay, I thought it was a
Yeah.
connection agreement against
We're
the
not farming
Southwest
it.
Power Pool or something.
We're not
Right.
farming it
No.
out. It's just gonna stay in Girard.
Okay,
Yes.
okay.
Okay. I think Luke is just asking for the resolution so he can see
I
it on
can't
here.
even flip and find it. I haven't been able to find anything tonight.
I haven't either. There's so much stuff on here today.
Heather, you have the one to write down for the roll call
Yeah, I
vote
have
once
one
somebody
for
makes a
roll call.
motion. Okay.
Okay.
Mr. Mayor, motion we approve the resolution 2025-14 confirming financial authorization and the non-interconnection agreement to be required for our solar facility.
Second.
Okay, Vanessa,
I approve.
Lucas,
I approve.
Dennis,
I approve.
Daryl,
I approve.
and myself, I approve. Motion carries. Consider approval of recommendation of April 22nd, 2025 Golf Committee minutes.
The only thing that's really on there was the discussion was to raise the price of a single can of beer from $2.25 to $2.50. And right now they're selling a 6-pack for $12. It would raise to $13. That's really the only thing that came up during the meeting. The other thing to cover real quick, the greens have a, they call it tall patchy grass spots on here, but there's dark spots and light spots where the grass is growing uneven. And the, they took a sample and sent it to K-State and had it analyzed. And there was a possibility it was some type of fungal disease in the grass, but K-State said it's not. It's just that the ground is matted up and have built up, and it's allowing more moisture in one spot than another. So they aerated the greens and sanded them, and I think they've got that under control. But that's just an update.
Okay.
And aside from that was the mower, right, Daryl?
Yeah, it's upgrading equipment.
Okay.
And then, yeah, just change the beer price from, go up a quarter on a can of beer and $1 on a 6-pack. That's really the only issue.
Mr. Mayor, a motion that we approve the April 22nd Golf Committee minutes as presented.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. No further regular business. Everybody's comments. Vanessa?
I'm probably going to say what everybody's thinking because I seem to do that. But we've been watching Facebook. We've seen what we've seen and heard what people are saying. And we do hope to get the policing situation under control. We like having our staff, we like having our police force, and we like to keep our citizens safe. So we're not trying to not do that in any way, shape, or form. Yes, we've lost a few officers. Some people have moved out of town. Some people have moved to different forces. But we do want to protect our citizens, and we do want what's best for the community. Aside from that, we had a lot of hires today. If anybody can see the agenda, we are opening the golf course. It's available. People need to use the facilities that are there. The swimming pool is also going to be open very shortly. So please remember to use what's out there so that our community can continue to have those great amenities. Anybody can go up and use the pickleball courts or the skate park, any of those things. So please take advantage of what this small town has to offer, because a lot of towns our size don't have a lot of amenities. So please use those. Once again, shop local, keep your local businesses up and running, and keep those tax dollars coming in. Once again, they're going to go to that public safety tax, which our fire and our police are receiving, and not $1 has gone anywhere but police and fire. I know that's a concern for people, because there's a one line in there that says at the discretion of us as a committee. But I can tell you right now that not $1 has gone to anything except for the police and fire. So that tax is safe, and that is going in the right direction. And they are using it very wisely, and they are plotting and planning for the future. I know that both of our chiefs are very, very dollar to dollar with their budgets, and they are looking at them very closely to try to get grants and try to keep everything and all their safety equipment up to date. So I just want everyone to know that every dollar is going to those budgets. It's not gone anywhere else. And the intention is that it never will have to. Aside from that, we're going to keep moving forward as a group here, and keep moving forward as an entity of the city of Girard. So if you have any questions, you have any comments, please come and speak to us. Once again, we've addressed the Facebook issue, and sometimes it's hard for her to get on and do that. And it's not really part of her day, because she's making phone calls and looking at the bigger picture for the whole city. She's writing grants. She's working as a team with all the employees here, the city of Girard. So sometimes, because your Facebook does not get addressed, it doesn't mean we're not seeing it. It doesn't mean that we don't want you to know. It means look back at these meetings and try to gather your information, because we try to put it out there. That's all I have to say, Mr. Mayor.
Lucas?
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, I want to echo a lot of what Vanessa said. First off, everyone here in this room is a person. Everyone goes home at night. We all have family. We all do stuff outside the city. And the social media posts, when they're negative and hateful, they don't actually help to the discussion in any way. I do commend citizens and for using their First Amendment right. The internet has allowed us to say and do so many things that we couldn't in the past. But just remember, like Mickey said, if you're going to do it online, ask yourself, would you do it face to face or with someone present in the same room? Because it does make it easier when you're not sitting in front of somebody. So do unto others as you would have them do unto you. The golden rule, it's a good thing to live by. Also, in regards to the public safety, the council and the city administration have worked over the last few years to try to improve the quality for the police and fire. The city is lucky to have its own electric department that funds many of the extras that the city has. Look around at other small towns. Girard has a golf course. I know that's a big topic of discussion, but it's still something nice for the city to have. We have a swimming pool. We have a skate park. We have a Carnegie Library, which is in itself a really interesting building if you ever want to go and look at it. We also have the disc golf course, which was new. And recently we added the public access for the weight facilities, which I'm one of the only few that go up there, but I welcome anyone else to come up. The school, that was nice for them to allow access to that building. We share it with the wrestlers, and you can go Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or Saturday. It's from 6 to 9 p.m.
Oh, Lokis, just one thing. Can you say how you can get access to it? What you need to do to get access?
Yes. I think, is it still through Mr. Ferguson?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
From the 6 to 9, you can just walk in. But
No.
to get access at all
Yeah,
the
but if
time.
you have a card.
Yeah.
Oh, you do have to have.
Well,
a
you have to have
card?
the waiver. So once you get
Yeah,
the
you just have
waiver,
to sign the waiver. 6 to 9, whoever's out there should have it unlocked. Otherwise, it's Mr. Schwartz who will.
they change it. Okay.
I think it's Mr. Schwartz that will give out the card.
They should have copies of the waiver out there.
Yeah, they do.
Yep.
So yeah, I believe they talked to Mr. Schwartz for the card.
Okay.
And then there's also an attendant that the city provides during the other times. And you just have to sign a waiver, which is pretty standard for that type of facility. And so overall, I mean, the city does have a lot of, like Lanessa said, facilities that I enjoy, my family uses, and I really appreciate the time and effort that our city employees put into it. Secondly, I want to also talk about the way that we have tried to look at public safety. And one of the facts that Lanessa already mentioned was there's a line in there that says we can do whatever we want with it. But that was there for us to, if we had to do something with it, make the change. But most of the council, I think all the council, is in agreement that that needs to stay with the police and fire department. Those are your guys' funds. You guys need to use them for your equipment, your stuff, day-to-day operations. The hope was a half-cent sales tax would increase the budgets for public safety. Unfortunately, the amount of the tax was much smaller than anticipated, and the prices for your guys' equipment keeps raising. So even though we have more money coming in, your buying power was less because everything costs more. Just like Cliff's find out with the electric department, all the transformers and everything is just keeps going up. Those aren't excuses. It's just reality and the facts that we have to deal with day in and day out. The reality of the solution is there's no easy exit, and abandoning facilities without planning is only a short-term solution. We need constructive, thoughtful discussion if we want to move forward. Finding balance is the only solution in this matter. I want to end on, whenever we had public forum tonight, I know the individual, sorry, can't remember her name. Courtney said that she never steps foot on the golf course, but I know several citizens do. And I know several people that would say they never go into the library, or they never use a skate park, or they never go to the weight facilities. So cutting something because we think it's going to save money will not fix the problem long term. We need to look at a approach that's a bird's eye approach and see if we can make see if we can use. Yeah, say it. It's hard. It's a hard question to answer. You see me stumbling on my words here.
Well, you say what's good for the goose is not always good for the gander, so.
Correct, yeah.
Just because one person doesn't enjoy the facility, someone else does. So we're trying to accommodate the thousands of people that live here in Girard and
I
cover
don't think that's what her statement
everybody's
was about.
loves.
It was just showing her lack of knowledge to them. I
Right.
don't think it was about that she.
Right. But, there's some people use a swimming pool, some people don't. So the fact that we try to give everybody an option to be active and to have a different kind of lifestyle, we don't
That wasn't a
necessarily.
topic that was discussed. You can
Right.
move on.
We don't necessarily want to take that away from people. So we try to put that money towards the golf course. And we've also done research in the past that says that having this facility in our area will bring other business to our area. So we have to take in consideration any which way that it might help our community without losing that piece of property and losing that entertainment.
Are you
Yeah.
done, Lucas? Or are you still
Almost,
up, Paul?
Mickey. Last thing is that I don't want to put words in Courtney's mouth because that's just what I heard. I guess I do want to say, lastly, Mickey, is that I do appreciate Courtney coming up because that type of discussion is what the city needs. For the record, I wrote down everything that she asked and what she said, and we'll make sure that I'll make sure I personally look at them and see what those questions are so I can understand it better. I just want to end on, though, be careful with the slippery slope because if we start cutting stuff, then we'll cut everything that makes Girard great. Thanks, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Sarah?
Wasn't ready. I just like to echo everything that everyone else said, and we're doing all we can for the public safety. And if you be patient, we will get the water line project started. When it's finished, we will get the streets fixed. I drive on them just as much as anybody else, and I know where they're the worst. And it's kind of like driving through a maze in a few spots. And I completely understand. Jackie's getting guys out there to put some hot mix in. They finally got some fixed down on Willow Street, which made me very happy. And so anyway, just be patient. That's all I can say. And if you have any questions, I've said this since the day I started here. I'm completely available to answer anything anyone wants during a meeting, after a meeting, at my house, at your house. Just let me know. I'll be more than happy to talk to anybody about anything, the city, about the city. So I'll just throw that out there. That's all I have.
Okay, thank you. Well, first off, I want to thank Sierra for her service and wish her luck in her future endeavors.
Thank you.
And advise the city employees of the good job that they're doing, what they can do. And want to reiterate also that I had an article in the paper with my phone number. People had questions, they can talk to me. And like I said earlier to Courtney, that I like to talk in person rather than over the phone. So there's a phone number there that they can call me. I'll meet them somewhere, meet them up here, but I like to talk in person rather than over the phone or on the internet. And just want to, like I said, again, thank everybody for what they're doing. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Dennis, did you speak?
Hmm?
Did you need to speak, Dennis?
Oh, yeah.
Dennis.
I'm sorry, I thought maybe you would like to.
Yeah, I had
thought
something.
maybe I missed it,
I have to
didn't I?
second what Daryl has talked about, being patient on the road conditions around here, but have got a couple of complaints that I have to agree with. The alleyway behind the post office for drive-through mail drop at the exit at Walnut Street is some terrible deep potholes that could be damaging and are hard to miss. I've noticed it myself, and I've had other citizens mention it to me. So I'd appreciate it if we put it up the list. Jackie's. Also, there's another one on the pavement is collapsing behind a tin culvert on Orange Street at Ozark. There's a tin whistle under there, and right behind it, it is collapsing and preparing to become a sinkhole. So those are just two that I have noticed that we shouldn't wait too long to do something about, because we're going to end up damaging somebody's suspension or something. So, and I had to agree with them. I also have to say that I saw a young couple that lives across the street from me out walking the road for the first time I've ever seen them, and they were picking up trash along Southern Boulevard. They had a bag and a stick, and they were picking up beer cans and whatever else is out there. And it encouraged me. It gives me a little optimism that there are people that care about the town. And I'd just like to congratulate them, because they were out there just because they got tired of driving by and seeing trash on their road. I've done the same thing. Maybe they saw me, maybe they didn't. But I went out and congratulated them, and I'd like to thank them publicly for taking care of their town. That's all I have, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Mayor, motion that we adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Did you get all of that there? Because I kept notes too.